Welcome back to the Willville City Gym. So, as you notice in the current state of the Pokemon card market, the really nice special illustration rares, art rares, have astronomically shot up in price. Plenty are going up, double, triple the price potentially over the last couple months. We can thank partially Pokemon Pocket for it, which has been a lot of fun. However, that also means too that if you want to build your collection and make it look really nice and pretty, it's going to cost considerably more. So I'm going to go over a couple subsets from a couple of the past year sets that I believe look really nice aesthetically and I think would be fun to add to your collection. Like many cards, if people aren't paying attention to it, that means you can get it at a good value and then hold it for long term, more solid. But hey, we'll dive into it right now. So the first subset of cards that are worthwhile to look into, in my opinion, are the Vivid, Voltage, and Shining Fates Amazing Rares. So these amazing rares feature legendary Pokemon like Rayquaza, Zacian, Zamazenta, we've got Jirachi, Raikou. So some really popular Pokemon, as well as having an artistic rainbow pattern in the background, as well as some really nice texture. And the thing is that these, granted it's a smaller subset, the pull rates were like 1 in 20 packs. So still even technically more challenging than illustration rares to pull. It's just there's way more illustration rares. So a lot of these outside of the Rayquaza are like $2 or less. So if you're trying to collect all of the amazing rares to get all 9, fill your page up, you're going to be looking at mathematically, what is that, like $30 max. So instead of spending $30 on one nice illustration rare, maybe those are the way to go. The next subset that I think are pretty neat are the break cards that came out of the XY era towards the back half. They were featured in sets like Breakthrough, Breakpoint, Steam Siege, XY Evolutions, Fates Collide. So the ones that people complained about when I got back into the game. So these cards have this really nice holographic squared looking pattern that has this gold feel to it, as well as the Pokemon looking gold. And they're really neat as well too, because these are one of the few horizontal focus cards versus vertical. So they give it a little bit of a different look than what your traditional Pokemon cards do look like, as well as the fact that they featured both legendary cards, Gen 1 cards, so you can still pander to them, as well as some other fan favorites as well too, especially Clawitzer, right? So all to say, those all run for a couple dollars max. There's some that are a little bit higher. Maybe the Lugia is probably $10 or so. But the next cool subset that I think are worth your while to look into while you avoid overpaying for all these illustration rare cards out there are the gold secret rares. Now these are cards that have always puzzled me on why people don't appreciate them more. Granted, some people can say they look like booty and they're not as colorful as they should be, and that's fine, I get it. But the point is, a couple points here. One, the pull rates on these obviously are very low. They're 1 in over 100, effectively putting plenty of these needing to open like hundreds and hundreds of packs to pull this specific secret rare. But outside of that too, especially for item cards, tool cards, stadium cards, these give essentially the alternative art version of what those are. So especially if you're going to League and really wanted to bling out your deck and make it look very nice, these are cards that you can pick up for a considerably reasonable price. I think most of them are typically under like $5, but obviously they go up a little bit more than that, but not as much as the illustration rares. So check into the secret rares. I think they're pretty cool. Another subset that I'm really baffled by that doesn't get as much hype as it should, people must have forgot maybe, is the Cosmic Eclipse character art rares, and those have some pretty popular Pokemon on there like Gallade and Wally. You got Clay and Excadrill. You got Magnemite and Lieutenant Surge, which you can't not pander to Gen 1. So to that point, for the fact that they're already lower pull rates, it's from Sun and Moon when people forgot that Pokemon existed. I didn't, but you did. Maybe not. Thumbs up if you didn't. But point is that they're all relatively affordable. Plenty are like $5 or less. So while people are paying like $75 for that Persian, you could pay a couple bucks for something really cool that was hard to pull. So the last subset I'm going to discuss here are the baby shiny Pokemon. And considering how many people love shiny hunts, they love that shiny Pokemon popping up in Pokemon Go, I don't understand how more people aren't just jumping at them to scoop them up. Plenty of the baby shinies go for $2 or less, maybe $3 max. Obviously there's some that go way expensive like Pikachu or so, But long story short is those look really nice also with the texturing in the background, It gives that shiny form a new fresh flair in your binder. And again, to pick it up for a couple bucks max compared to paying $1 million for a Dusclops, Duskull, Dust Noir, all those three, you could get like pages on pages of shiny babies, shinies. It's a amazing, crazy world out there. So here's the deal, guys. As you know, the Pokemon market right now is out of control. All the special illustration rares, the alternative arts, the art rares that you're looking for, illustration rares, they are in a lot of ways out of reach. I mean, I'm not going to be spending my money on them as much as I'd love to. Love the art of Pokemon cards, make me happy. It gives me that dopamine release that I need. But with that said, when people are zigging, you can be zagging. And I learned that in college, that at the end of the day, there's always a silver lining. There's always a way to get the edge. Like, people are taking the eye off the ball. They could be looking at these. They could be saying these are cool. And maybe one day they will. Maybe one day they won't. But I can say you can't go wrong for a couple bucks. Especially if somebody else is going to be paying $70 for a person looking out a window, which looks really cool. However, I mean, $70 is, that's a lot of money. So, on that note, Pokemon fans, this is my recommendations. It's not financial advice, obviously, but when I go to buy Pokemon cards, this is kind of what I'm looking for when it comes to trying to find a good deal. So, on that note, Pokemon fans, like and subscribe. If you found some value in this, I'll be making another video, gameplay related, posted on Friday. Check out the previous one I posted last week. Talk to you later.